Good afternoon and welcome to D.I.V E, Diversity, Including Various Ethnicities. I'm Iris Owens, your host, and today I'm so excited because we are continuing the family business, generational real estate. And today we have amazing guests on the line. So we have Miss Cindy Rampley and we have J.D. Lester, and this is family business. So guys, welcome today. And we're going to jump right in. We're going to talk about the family business and how this business got started. So who would like to start first?
Go ahead, Mom.
Well, okay, I'll start first. Iris, I started working in the real estate business because my dad was in the real estate business. In 1959, two builders formed Tri-City Realty and hired my dad to be the broker. So when I came along, he had already been working for a long, long time. And so we've been in business a long time. And when I turned 18, I decided it was the 70s and I didn't really want to stay in college. So I went and got my real estate license. And I've been selling real estate for all these many years now.
That's awesome.
So
I was going to ask you if you ever had another job besides real estate.
Well, when I was 17, still in high school, I worked as a teller in a bank.
Okay.
And that was just the only other brief job I've ever had.
Okay. That's awesome. All right. So you've had I was reading your bio. So 40 years and all the things that you've been involved in with Fayette County Board, with the Real Estate Board of Commissions, just so many roles you have played. And I just always look at that and say, so when people come into real estate, we think it's just selling houses. And so if you would share with us a little bit how you expanded all of that. Was that based on the influence of your father or just where you decided you wanted to do more once you came into the business and became an agent?
It was a little both. He pushed me. He would bring me along to all the meetings, the Chamber of Commerce and the Board of Realtors. And of course, through church, we were active. And so we were able to help people that way. And then as I got more active, I found other people that I could learn from and grow with, other women leaders. At that time, there weren't very many women that were considered worthy to be brokers in the real estate business in the 70s. And some of the people that I was working with through the Women's Council of Realtors were some of the first brokers in the real estate business. So I had other people to look up to all through the years. But then also, then as my children started to come, I realized it's a very flexible job. You don't have a 9 to 5. And if you want to, you can bring JD to work and put him under your desk when he's 6 months old. Do some paperwork. So there's flexibility and there's opportunity.
Understood. So JD, for you, have you ever known anything else other than real estate?
Yes. In fact, everyone in my family was in real estate and a lot still are. So I went to college and I studied finance.
Okay.
And once I was in college, junior, senior year, I was all about learning about investments, stocks and bonds. And I thought I was going to be a stockbroker. Even started or helped co-found the Georgia Southern Finance Committee. And we ran mock portfolios and all that kind of fun stuff.
Yes.
And at one point I really was like anything but real estate, even though growing up, I really idolized my family, including my grandfather, Bob Disheroon, who's Cindy's mom, or excuse me, my mom's dad.
Dad, yes.
We called him Daddy Bob. So
I
really idolized him and his work ethic and his success, not only in business, but also in the community and with family. And I don't know why at one point I didn't want to get in real estate. And I kind of wish I did right out of high school now, because I'm learning more and more being in the business 3 years now, that it really is not only freedom and flexibility to work your own hours, but the relationships that you build over time. And growing up, like Mom said, under her desk as a baby, that's just one part of it. She could also pick me up from school and take me to practice, and that flexibility really, provided me with a great childhood. So
yes. I love that. And I think so many times we come into real estate, and again, we think that real estate is really about just selling homes. And it's so much more than that. It's community, it's helping people, as you said, Cindy, achieve that that dream, that ownership, building legacy, building wealth for their families that, and generations behind you. But growing up in a generational family where I see from your history where you all have expanded and done so much more than just sell homes. You have created basically an empire of all things real estate, which I think is fascinating. So share with us how we master that, how we get to that point in life where we are looking to do that.
You want to tell Iris a little bit about the history of Tri-City?
You can.
Well, you know it better than I, so why don't you?
Well, I did say that we're a company that's now 64 years old, and we've gone from times of having 5 or 6 offices of over 100 agents to different changes and developments. Dad passed away in 2001, and at that time I focused more on the investment real estate business and working with investors in property management, and that's primarily what I've done for the last several years. But I will say that the Realtor organization has really been my education. I did not finish college, but through serving as, for instance, treasurer of the board of realtors, it gave me a basic understanding of budgeting and accounting. And then through the different courses, the GRI courses, and then I did the CCIM program, which really developed my knowledge about what returns on investment and income properties can do for you and build wealth. And so personally, I learned to help others, but also help myself and understand why we invest in real estate so that we can build our own wealth that way and have non-revenue money. You don't have to work all your life.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah. So through the Realtor organization, I've learned an awful lot, and there's a lot for other agents to learn. I served on the Women's Council of Realtors back when there, as I say, weren't many women in the real estate business. And I served on the Chamber of Commerce in Fayette County, which was diversified. When I was able to serve as the president of the GAR in 2003, my motto that year was strength through diversity. And it wasn't just all the different people diversity, it was the different avenues of service, commercial, investment, retail. We also have a daughter who's in the retail business in Atlanta. So there's just, if you have a real estate license, you can do all, you can turn with the tide when the market changes. You can decide you want to do one thing and then the other. You can investigate. So it's never boring.
Right.
So that's a blessing that we've had through being involved with the Realtor organization.
Yes, because of what you have just said is that it's not, as you just said, you have a license, but you have a license to do so many things, even that you may have never even thought about before. But because you do have that real estate license, there are so many different opportunities out there for us to seek and to delve into. So JD, for you, having a real estate license, coming from a finance background, but from a strong family of real estate, like you said, you didn't initially think you were going to real estate, and then you decided, oh, maybe I need to change that.
I think it was unavoidable. It's in my blood.
Absolutely. I think it's in your DNA for sure.
It is. It took me until I was, I guess, 28 years old to finally come along with the family and get into real estate. Before that, I was working with a Mass Mutual Financial Group, if you've heard of them, for a few years, and it just wasn't for me. And ultimately, once I started, I just remember the day actually getting my license and just the chills and how good it felt that, the sky's the limit. And it happened to be a really good time to get into it as well.
Yeah.
But I've enjoyed every minute of it, not just the sales. The first couple of years was like drinking water out of a fire hydrant. Just thankfully had so many sales and things going on. But now fast forward a few years, I enjoy every minute of it, and like you're saying, if it's slow, once things slow down, you could kind of sit down and figure out and make phone calls and get busy again, so it's been an interesting wave, but I'm enjoying the ride.
I love that. I love that. So Cindy, share a little bit about how you became, you were involved with GREC. And I guess we should say what GREC is for those who may not know.
The Georgia Real Estate Commission, who oversees the licenses of about 120,000 Georgia real estate licenses. And I've enjoyed it. I served for 7 years, and my term has just ended. But several years ago, I was approached by Josh Bonner, who was a member of the Real Estate Commission and is currently our member of the House for Fayette County, this Georgia House. And he's always his family's sort of been a mentor to me. He's a second generation realtor. His dad was very active in all the things we were active in. And he wanted to recommend me to the governor to be appointed for his seat. And that's what happened. And so I finished his unexpired term. And then after that, Governor Kemp appointed me for another 5 years. And it's been very interesting. It's been intense. I've enjoyed visiting and sort of, because I've been president of the Georgia Association of Realtors, been able to integrate the law with the realtors and try to help promote issues that everybody has. People call and they're concerned about advertising rules and teams and things that affect us. And as a practitioner, I understand it. In Georgia, we are very fortunate as practitioners to have us on the Real Estate Commission, because we understand the problems. We understand, earnest money issues and advertising issues, and we self-regulate. So it's been a very interesting time for me, and I've really enjoyed it, and I've grown from it. But I'm ready to now have more time at my farm with my chickens and cows.
So it sounds to me this is not retirement, but we're just going to take a little bit more of a little bit ease now, or because you're still busy. You're not going to sit down and just sit on the farm now, are you? Oh,
no. But it's nice to be able to choose, that Absolutely. I can work from home and choose what I want. Yeah. And then to have JD, it's just been a blessing that he was ready to get in the business when I was ready to kind of slow down. And his background in finance has delved him right in with my book of investors, many of whom I've worked with for 40 years. And so they feel comfortable with him. And he's developing a lot of other ones too, because he's just become, that knowledgeable person about investment real estate. So I feel very comfortable that I can take a vacation or stay home and raise my chickens and gather my eggs or either work, and I do work from home. So I'm blessed that I have opportunity.
That's awesome. So is this 4 years of generation? Is this 4 generations?
Third.
Okay. So third generation.
So far.
So far.
That's right. So far.
JD's sister is in the business in Atlanta.
Oh, wonderful. So JD, where do you see Tri-City going from, like, you've been around since 1959, you said? 59?
Yes.
50? Okay, 59. So JD, where do you see it going? Because now it seems like you're gonna ride this helm right now, right? And mom's right there with you. So where's it going?
Well, it's actually started in 1958, and I plan to see it at 2058. Maybe I'll be ready to retire by then and pass the torch to the fourth, like you're saying.
Yes, to the 4th generation. I love that. So if there was anything that you could share with our viewers and those who will be tuning in and those who would listening and maybe teetering right now in terms of where they are in their business or where they're trying to go in their business, what would those words of advice be? And that whomever wants to start first is fine.
What I would say is you just have to keep learning constantly. The only thing that's constant is change. And when I started selling real estate in 1973, we had forms and carbon paper, and you carried everything in your briefcase, and you wrote out contracts, and you met with people. And Dad never even had a computer. So you have to continue to go with the flow. And today, in our property management world, everything's done online. ACH payments, leases are signed. As you know, we do everything online, which is better for the consumer because they can study and read and understand what they're signing. And then everybody's got their copies, and you can get a lot more done because of technology. So that's what I've tried to keep up with. And I know that it's going to continue on as JD goes forward, that we're still going to continue all this AI assistance and assistants that are virtual, and still maintaining our confidence in our investors, maintaining confidence in us, with the warm touch too. But you can do a lot more today than you could in the 70s with real estate.
Right. And how important is it with all of this, as you said, AI and all of the ability to process things? How do you maintain that relationship, that true one-on-one touch relationship with your clients and your investors and those? Because I sometimes feel like we can get lost if in all this automation, because we lose relationship. How do you, how do you see that, JD?
I was actually just about to get to that point, and it's a great point. As many efficiencies and new softwares and advertising and all this fancy, whatever's the shiniest object in the moment can kind of distract you from actually being personable with people, not only the existing clients that you have, but acquiring new clients, new people who are going to trust you in the real estate needs. And another one of the terms that I remember from my daddy, Bob, is you have to circulate to percolate. And I realized how true that is, that, you could go text 100 people that you don't know, one will text you back. But if you're out having dinner or just, out for cocktail hour, whatever it might be, or being a part of the board of realtors, it really makes a difference to get face to face with people, for them to first know who you are, and second to, wind up building that trust with you.
So, yeah, we don't ever want to stop using the telephone. We do like,
yeah. Yes. And I do feel that we're in a world today that everything is a text. Everything email is really obsolete, because most people don't even read their email.
Right.
But people quickly say, if you need to get in touch with me at this, please text. And I'm saying, I feel like we are losing touch, because things can be lost in automation, in text, because you don't get to hear what's really maybe going on with you, or if you're really concerned about something, or having a whole anxiety attack after you signed that dotted line to say I'm under contract. now you're at home going, oh my God, what have I done?
That's true.
So I think it's important that we always remember to keep that personal touch, and never forget that we may sell homes, or we may sell land, but you're selling to people, right? We're helping someone, and we're not selling. We're helping someone find their now home, forever home, in between home, or their investment, their first investment, or multiple investments, but helping them to build generational wealth. And I think that's very important.
And hopefully not just, treating it as transactional, but building that lifelong relationship. And with property management, Mom, you've had owners that we've managed their properties for how many decades? It's a little different sometimes than just the one
since the 80s
sale.
Since the 80s.
Well, yeah, I have generational owners, because I've sold the property to the parents, and they've now passed on, and now I'm working for their children and helping their income and advising them on their real estate needs. So I've got more than one second generation that I work for now, and they trust me, of course. So that's a very nice feeling.
Yeah, that's awesome. And also teaching another generation how important it is to not throw away, because I do think sometimes in newness of generational generations, that at times we don't value the fact that those who came before you took the time out, like what it took for them to buy that land, to buy that first house, to keep that house for 40, 50 years, right? And then some of us will say, oh, I don't want to live there. I'm never planning to live that place. And I have no desire to move over there. And so we will take it and sell it off, not understanding. So if I could ask that question, how important is that, to always be mindful of the work that was done before you, and now when it's put into your hands, how you manage it and what you do with it?
JD?
Well, it's a true blessing. Not everybody gets the opportunity to be a third generation realtor. So I'm blessed to be in this position. And I've learned through the years of just like almost through osmosis of being around Mom and the rest of the family and her lifelong friends through real estate, how to treat people, treat others like you would like to be treated yourself, the golden rule, and just how to be a good human being. And, you know, it made it easier for me to become what I would hope is a good human by being around this multiple generational, you know, family. And it's been great.
Awesome. Well, I want to thank you both so much for joining us today. You have definitely given us some great nuggets and things to think about, and some things to go and say, let me think about that, because if the market decides to do anything other than grow and allow us to have more homes and stuff, we all need to consider, what are we going to do now? But Cindy, you have clearly proven to us that there's always something to do. You have proven that is clearly something to do. And JD, you tried to go over here and said, I'm not going to do that, but here you are. So
Iris, thank you for asking us.
Oh, no, thank you all for joining me today. I so do appreciate you both so much. So you all have a wonderful afternoon. And if you just stand by, we will see you all next week. Thank you all.
All right. Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Bye.